Hi everyone and welcome to Trades of the Week with myself here live and with Keith Sullivan. We are super excited for today because today there's a ginormous announcement. Huge. It's very exciting because there's a company, one that you use every single day, that is entering cryptos, and this will be major. And the question of course is, what does this mean for the crypto market and of course for the market in whole? And what does it mean for the company? Well, in today's Trades of the Week, you will find out, and also what it means for you. Now, before we dive into Trades of the Week today and all the opportunities we're looking at, there is an announcement that I do want to make with you, and that is this. We have a crypto masterclass this very Saturday. So make sure you sign up. The link will be floating around here. So if you want to be learning from one of the masters, Marcus de Maria, on exactly how you get started with cryptos and why now is absolutely the best time to get involved, make sure you sign up. So that being said, let's jump into it, Keith. I think I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm totally ready.
So let's have a look at the Buffaloes. So what are we in and what are we looking to get into? Let's have a look. So we're currently in Shack still. It's just going sideways. You know, it's like watching paint dry. It's not very fun, but that's how it should be. It should just be a way for you to enhance the quality of your life. So that's Shack, and if you want to get into at a better position than we have, you now have the opportunity. And looking at the next one, which is Rider System R, and we are slight profit there. So let's see. We're not going to do anything yet. No emotions, Keith?
No emotions.
No emotions. But we are going to wait and see what happens. Next up is HES, H-E-S. We're slight profit there as well. So let's see what the market does over the next couple of days. And before we get into the new one, what is happening in the market, Keith? Why isn't it moving down more?
So it was an interesting week last week in the market. We saw a lot of volatility on Thursday due to CPI announcements. Now, if you don't know what CPI is, it's Consumer Price Index, which basically shows you inflation in the US. And CPI actually printed 0.2% higher than analysts expected. So they expected a 0.2% increase in inflation, but actually got a 0.4% increase, which is that 2% print higher. And this caused a lot of fear to come into the market. Number one is because it gives a platform now for the Federal Reserve to really be hawkish, really carry on increasing interest rates, and maybe not at the 75 basis points that they have been doing, maybe at 100 basis points again, because inflation is slowly increasing. Now, a lot of people are going, but Keith, why is inflation still increasing when the Federal Reserve are doing QT? Quantitative tightening, and the reason for that is lagging indicators such as property now, which are a couple of months behind, is now starting to flow into the CPI data. So that's why we saw that slight increase. That's number one. And then during the Thursday, we did see a whip down. So the market had a big drawdown, a couple of percent, and our major indices hit a 2-year low. And from that point, we saw a recovery back up. And a lot of people again, Keith, why did we see the recovery? And unfortunately, I don't have a crystal ball, but the simplistic answer is, as the market went down towards 2-year lows, investors and traders started taking profits, imbalance between supply and demand, which then caused the market to rally back up. And that is exactly what we saw on Thursday. And now the market is beginning to continue, or potentially, on its downwards trend lower. Now, another bit of announcement that we had was, around October, we have our Q3. It is Q3. Yeah. We have our Q3 earnings coming out, and it started at the beginning of October with our major banks. And around 70% of earnings in the S&P 500 is expected by the 28th of October. And in your head, and you're sitting at home, you're going, Keith, so what? Why do I care? The main reason we need to be worrying about earnings is for two reasons. Number one, if we're trading, we could start seeing gapping in the market. And if the market gaps below or above your stop loss, you could be taken out at a worse price and actually lose a bit more money than expected. But number two, we could see earnings affect what is the next move of the market. So that could be the next catalyst, because if we're seeing shrinking margins and shrinking earnings, that could cause the next fear to come back into the market and the market to trend lower. Other than that, that is pretty much the news for this week. Just make sure you're liquid. We are being a bit more short bias as well, because we are expecting a drop lower. So look at a lot of shorting opportunities, while also a couple of longs, because you do want to be hedged. Other than that, Dennis, that's pretty much the news.
That's pretty much the news. No, not really, right? Because as like Keith says, not much happens from week to week necessarily. And look, we're just doing our thing over and over again. And with the Buffalo strategy, that is the case. So looking at the new one, we're actually adding a long one, which is SEDG, or Solar Edge Technologies. It's at a support level, longer term support, 1, 2, 3 bounces, and we're entering with a stop order as soon as it's breaking higher. We think this looks like a good opportunity. So now we're in a couple of shorts and a couple of longs. Why? Well, because we don't know what the market's going to do. Yeah, we think it's going to go lower in the shorter term, but we don't know. Whenever we know, tomorrow or so, the Fed could come out, right? The Federal Reserve, and say, okay, now we're going to do quantitative easing again, and we're going to print money like never before, which will then make sure the markets go up. And then we're in some positions. So we just make sure we're hedged, all right? So that being said, let's swiftly jump over to cryptocurrencies and this amazing market that is, and it's all happening, by the way. And I do want to start us to have a look at Bitcoin. We are trending a little bit higher at the moment. I mean, that drawing, Keith, is outrageous. I can barely see.
It's pretty good.
What's happening? It's very good. It's really, really good.
We should sell it as an NFT.
Yeah, we could. Yeah. So we'll see what happens now. It's consolidating. It tried to break lower once again a couple of days ago, but it instead reversed higher yet again. So we'll see if we're going to break lower or higher. Currently, we do believe we're going to maybe break higher in the shorter term, but we are yet to see that, just consolidating, so we don't know. But that being said, I do want to take a little bit bigger perspective here. If you do the weekly chart, so we see how much it's fallen from the high, it's down roughly 70%. From the high, Bitcoin has really just been falling for such a long time. Now, if you see your favorite pair of shoes, a new cell phone, the new Apple, right, or whatever it is, being down 70%. They have a sale on 70% discount. Would you buy it? And the answer is probably yes. And that's exactly the case with cryptos currently. And a lot of cryptos are down 80-90%. That's what we saw during 2018-19 as well. So we are buying. We are buyers in this market. I'm going to tell you why. Number one, Google has entered the crypto space, right? That's the big company. Google is getting involved. One of the biggest companies on the planet are starting to accept crypto payments, which is making the market more legit. Let me ask you this. If cryptos was not here to stay, if cryptos was a scam, would Google adopt it? You answer that question. We believe that would be?
No.
No. Well, dramatic answer there, Keith. But no, right? We wouldn't believe so. So we think that's going to be amazing for the market for that to happen. And more so, there's a couple of things that we do want to share. Now, the crypto market is following what the stock market is doing now, but we don't think that's going to be like that moving forward. But I think the most important piece of news here is that there's two pieces of news that I want to share with you. Number one, there have been various DeFi protocols, that's decentralized finance. Whatever happens, you're lending, you're borrowing money from the bank, can happen in the crypto world. And there's been over $718 million stolen. So be careful. There is still some unregulated stuff in this industry, so make sure you're careful. And only invest with proven strategies, maybe like, the ones we're using. And make sure you also don't go into something that gives you thousands of percent and etc. Right? If it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. So make sure you are careful with your hard-earned money. But that being said, Morgan Stanley reports that the crypto ecosystem is becoming a little bit more centralized, but also more regulated. So a lot of these nodes, so to say, the ones that are running the blockchains, they are usually now hosted through companies that are regulated, which means that the crypto market is becoming more and more mature and ready for companies such as Google, Facebook, and institutions such as Fidelity and Citigroup. We believe the next bull market is just around the corner. Now, will it happen this year, next year? We don't know. But we do believe it will happen just because all of the development we're seeing in the industry. And the SEC once again rejected the ETF that they're trying to apply for all the time. So it becomes widely adopted, hopefully. Mm-hmm. But in US, right, we have some ETFs in Canada and in Europe, but we want to have this one in US because that's the biggest market. And they said they couldn't prove that it would prevent fraudulent and manipulative acts and practices. But they keep trying. That's what I love about this space. No one is giving up. This is like the 10th time, but they just keep going as well. So we're not really looking at any new cryptos today, but I do want to just look at maybe one or two here. Can we look at FTT? It's going to be tricky for you. I think it's on the bottom there. It's the black one there.
There
fourth.
we go.
FTT is a really interesting crypto. It's down 72%. Now, this is, help me here. It's FTT is the ticker, FTX, the exchange, FTX, right? That is super exciting because they are buying everything they can. They have a ton of money. I was going to use another word, but I didn't. They have a lot of money. And they're buying different projects, right? And it's incredible to see. And another one, which is not on here, but it's Coinbase, right? The biggest exchange on the planet, one of them. They're also increasingly having more and more and more partnerships. And I think they will drive the next bull market as well. And being down 68% or so, we took profits on this, 31% profit just a while back. And I think soon will be a good time to enter that again. So I would put this on my radar. That's what we have done at least. So anything to add there in the crypto market? Otherwise, I think we're going to swiftly jump into the VCA market.
Yeah, no, I think you quickly, you covered a lot of the crypto, quite good. But there is one thing that I did want to add, and there was a survey that came out which basically states that there is over 300 billion in hackers. So they made over 300 billion in lost coins. And that could be hacking from all areas. Now, the only reason we're telling you this is not to be fearful in the market. It's more about you need to, yes, there is a longer term future with crypto. We're at an early adoption stage. There's a high amount or high potential of growth, but you also need to be safe, right? So there are two ways to be safe. Number one, being in the biggest exchanges possible. You've got your Binance is number one, Coinbase is number two, FTX is your number three. This isn't financial advice, so please don't just jump on saying Keith told me to. But do your own research, so be on the biggest exchanges possible. And number two, make sure your coins are on somewhat of a ledger or hard wallet. So it's taken off the exchange if you believe your exchange is to be riskier. Just make sure you stay away from that, and just please stay away from scams. If you've got questions or queries around something that may be too good to be true, then just comment on one of our videos, contact towards us, and we can help you through that, because we don't want none of our members or community being scammed around cryptocurrency. Other than that, I think great news with Bitcoin, with Google, and high potential for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, for sure. And are you guys excited? Are you excited, Keith?
I'm so excited.
We're super excited, right? So it's going to be awesome. So that being said, let's jump over to the VCA, right? Let's see if we have any positions we need to move. What do you say, Keith? Is there anything we need to add?
So with Microsoft, we are now entering at 35% from its current high. So we had a bit more of a drop over the last few days.
And I must ask you, right? Has Microsoft just lost 35% of their employees? Have they lost 35% of their revenue or buildings? The answer is probably no. So we believe this is a great time to be getting in.
Correct. So we're down 35% there. That was our next entry. Other than that, we haven't had any new entries or profits on the current VCA positions, unfortunately. But we'll see where the market goes. And with that, we can have either more entries or taking profit on some of our new positions.
Look, everyone, there's going to be a time where we're planting the seeds, and there's going to be a time where we will
reap the rewards.
Exactly. And now we are planting the seeds, right? And they're going to start growing soon.
Hopefully.
So what are we looking at, Keith? What new VCA are we looking at?
So we have BTI, British American Tobacco Industries. And with BTI, we're down around 22%. So this has actually been on our radar for a few weeks now, but finally has reached that 22% drop. So we are entering today. Now, if we have a look at BTI fundamentally, let's get rid of that. We're seeing a good market cap, good income. We are seeing nearly a fairly valued peg. It's not really too overvalued as a company. We are seeing relatively high debt, but longer term debt is lowering, which is great for us. Good return on assets, equity and investments, and also we are seeing good profit and operational margins.
Are awesome.
They're looking really, really good. And we have to talk about, in a recessionary environment, are people going to stop buying cigarettes? No, unfortunately not. They should, but unfortunately not, because it becomes a habit. So during this time, we believe it still will grow during the recessionary environment of the US. So down 22%, fundamentally looks good. Could be a good company to get into.
All right, we'll do your own research. There you have it. So let's look at the results as well. The results are awesome. I hope you guys are prepared for this. What do we have, Keith? The results are unchanged. So not really that exciting, but that is how trading and investing is, right? And just you wait, right? Wait till the next bull markets. Then you're gonna be very happy you have stuck with us here. So comment in the chat, everyone. What results are you getting? And are you following this, right? Let us know. We would love to hear. And before we dive into the outro today, I do want to tell you again about the masterclass we're having this very Saturday. So do make sure you sign up for a free masterclass a whole day, right? With Marcus and Maria, where he will teach you everything you need to get started with cryptocurrencies. It's going to be awesome. I will be there as well. So that being said, everyone, we do really hope you enjoyed Trades of the Week this week. And do make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, it would be awesome to hear from you. And not only that, make sure you subscribe to the channel and press that alarm bell to get those ongoing updates from us. So from myself, from Keith, our whole team, we wish you a wonderful week and we cannot wait to see you on next Trades of the Week.